Yes, guys, we're live, and I hope you like that new intro, right? Because I am bloody impressed, and I big up to Talk Menu for that. It's the Liver Awareness Show, and yes, we've got Charlie, and we've got the Doctor himself, Red Devil Studio. How are you, Red Devil? Is he there?
Sorry,
Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah, there
Muted.
you go. I was wondering if you were there.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Yeah,
No, good
good.
to be on the show.
Yeah. We've got Charlie as well. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad. And we've got Bargav in the building as well.
Hello. How you guys doing today?
Yeah,
I'm good, Bargav, mate. How are you?
Right. Here we go. If this computer starts working, I can now load up CLDF. Right. And what we're going to talk about today is not just about liver, but also about mental health as well, and how it's impacted, like not just this pandemic, like how, like for example, for me, how it's impacted me with what I have been through as well. So because it has a massive liver disease, and dealing with it has a massive effect on your mental health. Right. And yeah, if anyone else has got any issues as well, right, the StreamYard link should be open. Actually, it's an open show. I'll get it up in the chat right now. So there's the link. Red Devil. We know you're doctor. What do you know? What department do you work for?
So I'm a radiologist. So I work in the imaging place. We do all the scans and stuff like that. And
report radiology. Yeah. I'm having an argument with them to put a line in me.
Right.
Yeah. You do it.
Well, I mean, maybe. So
you don't want to screw in my veins. Like all of them, they can only put. The reason I can't do surgery is because they can't put a central line in.
Right. Okay.
They've only got one access area left, and that's for emergencies.
Yeah.
So the only thing they can do is put a hitman. It's not a hitman, but a midline in.
Yes.
Every time they put one in so far, it's blown after 2 weeks. So they're like, no, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, well, if you do it, I can do it at home. And I don't have to be around people coming in with COVID and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we're having a nice friendly debate over that. I'm hoping I get my way. Let's put it that way. But
fingers crossed.
Yeah. We always say radiology, radiology, ultrasound, X-rays. They all run the departments, right? They all run the hospitals, like. But
there's a lot of medicine is dependent on imaging in these days. So so you don't just go in blind. You want to find out what's going on in the body.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the amount of CT scans and MRI scans I've had is just done. I'm glad I've got kidneys left. One of them. That's one. There's one.
Yes. Yeah.
But we'll share the screen right about now. Charlie D is back in the chat as well. I can just see him there. How are you? Links is open as well. If anyone wants to raise any causes themselves, they can do. What do you know about liver, Red Devil? I was going to call you Dr. Devil, but I thought I wouldn't for this.
Yeah. Well, maybe a better question is, what is it that people want to know, or what about liver exactly? Like, what are we talking about? We're talking specifically alcohol liver disease. We're talking like
for this channel, we're focusing mostly on childhood liver disease, because when it comes to childhood liver disease, hardly anyone really knows much about it. They know obviously the alcohol side and what you do if you drink too much and stuff like that. But when it comes to actually childhood liver disease, and I had this first, for example, when I went to my university, I did a whole presentation, which I've already shown in a previous stream. And when I asked the simple question, what do you know about the liver? They literally knew nothing apart from they do damage to it on a weekend. That's literally what someone's answered me.
Yes.
And I just laughed it off, but in my head I was like, are you mad? I do remember one time a high school teacher telling me like that we were studying like the little basics about the liver. She said, well, they all looked at me, being the liver patient, right? Because one sort of subject like comes like that, or RE about like giving donation or something like that, like religious studies. Everyone starts looking at me like that, and I'm like, well, my opinion. Well, why are you looking at me? You know my opinion. So, but when she asked me what does the liver do, and I said, well, it clears the bile out of your bloodstream and out your system, right, to be able to process all of the food that you and nutrients that you take. It's basically like the factory. And she was like, no, it doesn't. And I said, yeah, it does. She went, no, it doesn't. I said, yeah, it does. I've just had a third transplant where liver failure bile went all the way through my system because the liver was failing. She went, yeah, but that doesn't. I said, look, I've got my surgeon on speed dial. Do you want me to ask him? She went, I can if you want me to. But yeah, this is it. So this is more like trying to sort of look at childhood liver disease. And like I said, for example, there's everyone looks at non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, but there's also a non-version. There's hepatitis B, cystic fibrosis. This one's the one I had, which is biliotresia. This one's quite rare. Do you know much about biliotresia?
Yeah, so usually what tends to happen, it's developmental. So you're right, it happens in childhood. So from what, so usually when you're when you're a child, when you're a baby, they tend to do like a lot of like tests, obviously, to to see if things are sort of working. So there's this basically there's this part of the liver is called the gallbladder, and it has an attachment called the bile duct. And what tends to happen in biliotresia is that like you basically that duct or that process that should basically excrete in the bile is like narrowed or doesn't exist, so you can't really drain it. So what happens is that there's like a backlog of that, and it basically ends up going into the bloodstream.
Into the blood. Yeah.
So what's I was just going to say, so what unlike other liver pathologies, it tends to usually in kids it tends to present after about if I'm correct, if I remember, I think somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks after seizure. It's not something that happens immediately, unlike maybe, for example, some more focal liver disease. It tends to present earlier. And as radiologists, we often tend to, there are a few, you usually can see it on ultrasound. Sometimes we do what we call it's a fluoroscopy examination, which basically tracks a trace of radiation or cut barium or whatever. And we basically see if the gallbladder or the pipe is draining. If it's not, and it's not, sometimes they do surgery if that helps. Sometimes they don't. It just really depends on when they sort of pick it up, really. So that's a brief overview on what biliotresia is. But you're right, it's something that happens. It's not something that you get when you're an adult or you acquire. It's something that you acquire as a child.
Yeah, from when I was because back when I was diagnosed at 6 weeks. It would have been 4 weeks, but the doctor was on holiday. So we knew nothing about chasing it. So we didn't know about it for about 2 weeks. It was after the blood test. But they used, about 6 weeks in, I was constantly, my mum was constantly feeding me, and I mean constant. It would just go straight through. Quick Guna, I know we give each other banter about, and I go mad about Arteta in, Arteta out, but big up to you anyway. From what we were told, because back then you knew as much as they knew, because we didn't know a lot about child liver disease at the time back in '94. So now these days the transplant success rate is from 70 to 95. It's like some of the, and that is the #1 liver center in the world for children in King's College Hospital in London. But for biliotresia, it's what I was told from an early age is that it's something genetic. It's genetically based, where it happens at the early stages of conception, but you can't pass it on. It's not going to be something that I'm going to give to my kids. Right? though there's a lot of grey area about it. Unlike some liver conditions, they don't know why it happens. For example, maybe they can over time be able to find why it does, but in sort of genetic DNA testing. But yeah, it's like you said, it's the bile ducts is not really formed, it's damaged, or it's not there completely, and before you know it, you're getting the bile built up in the liver, and the more the bile builds up in the liver, it just kills it. It just kills it off, and then just starts seeping through your body, and then all of a sudden you're getting encephalopathy and God knows what else. So yeah, and this is what I love about this website, and everyone like the reason I keep going to the liver disease website. It's not just because I'm supporting the Children's Liver Disease Foundation. Is the fact that they break it down in English. Wherever you go to Wikipedia, it's all in that doctor's Latin language that no one's like, what the hell am I talking to here? Right? And it's like you're trying to learn a new language. It's like, what? What do you mean? But yeah, it's like, for example, this just breaks it much easier into English so everyone can understand it. So like the causes, like they said, are completely unknown. They're still carrying out research, which is funded by the charity.
There's some theories. So I think currently right now the most popular one is that possibly that sometime after birth or just about birth, the child is exposed to like a virus. This is theories. This isn't like this is what it is, but this is just theories. But currently the most popular theory.
It didn't come out after the coronavirus, did it?
No. No. It's just any sort of a pathogen, because when you expose to any pathogen, your body has an immune response to it. So there's theories that there's possibly that when the body, it's essentially the body having a non-productive response to a potential viral pathogen, and the result of that immune response to that pathogen leads to damage or narrowing of the bile ducts. So that's kind of the possible theory that right now it's going around. But like I said, that's a theory. It's not like 100% truth. That's just the popular theory that's going on right now.
I mean,
like I said,
just a question.
Just before you go, I need to, just everyone, make sure you like this video. Make sure you share it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. All right, we need to get as many people in here as we can whilst we're live as well. More people that we have, even if like at a minute there's only 3 people. To me, even if it's just one person just listening to it, it's one person that knows and one person that can make a difference. So just share it. And plus, we'll also be talking about mental health as well. So if you've got any problems with your mental health during this pandemic, please, the link is in the chat. Come on, have your say, and spread awareness, and we can point you in the right direction. I mean, I'm not going to give you complete advice because I'm not a psychologist, but I can give you advice on how I've dealt with things, but it's not concrete. But yeah, Bargav.
So I was reading about this, just this topic in general. They say like one of the hardest problems is the diagnosis of it. Because that bird, some of the symptoms that pop up are like non-specific. Is that correct? Is that like the big problem with like assessing like liver disease at birth?
Yeah, when it comes to liver disease, is that, for example, like you get for this, you get pale stools, dark brown urine, for example, and this is before you and plus the fact that my mum was constantly feeding me, and I mean literally she was breastfeeding and I wouldn't stop because it just kept going. And that's why when we had to do a blood test, and I had to do a blood test at 4 weeks because I came out with pneumonia, because typical me, I just love to cause trouble, right? So it's when you do see dark brown urine, pale stools, for example, is that it could be a number of things. It could be kidney disease, it could be liver, it could be something completely different other than that. It could just be so what you do is do a general sort of blood test where you look at liver function test, or LFTs as they call them.
Yeah.
And there you get the sort of diagnosis of what you're looking at, because you're going to look at those levels and think, all right, there's something wrong with the liver here. There's a build-up of bile here. Then by the time they looked at my blood test at 6 weeks, within 3 days, I was at King's having surgery for what they call a Kasai. Now, Kasai, the operation basically means they sort of drain the bile ducts away and sort of try and connect it the best they can. Usually, yeah. It doesn't usually work. When they told us back then, it was basically like, I'll just bring this down for a bit. They basically told me told my mum that this is hardly going to work, right? The best thing it's going to do is going to give me a fighting chance to build up for myself for a transplant, which eventually happens. Very rarely it does work. Probably depends how early they catch it and how much they can save with the liver itself. But yeah, it's in America, they don't even bother. They just don't even bother with it. They just go straight to transplant and transplant list. So, but I don't know whether now they still bother or not. But this is why now you'd have a Kasai straight away, and then they would assess you after that. And if you still need to go for a transplant, they then make sure you're taking all the nutrients and everything you are as much as possible to. Because the hardest thing with liver disease is that it's so hard to put weight back on because you're not properly getting the nutrients and all the stuff that you need, right? Because the liver's not working. So, yeah, the Red Devil. Is there anything like other you can add about the Kasai operation?
So I guess what I'll say is that I think obviously compared to maybe back then when you got the diagnosis to now, I think things are a bit better in terms of the initial diagnosis, because we do a lot more imaging now regarding this than we done in terms of
the imaging is so much better these days.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. It's a lot better. So generally speaking, if you have suspicion of someone who's biliary atresia, or even if you have a minor suspicion because of access, you'd be able to get an ultrasound or a fluoroscopy examination or something fairly
or even a CT or an MRI or something like that.
Which we try not to CT young babies, but even just a simple ultrasound exam or like a simple fluoroscopy exam will give you the diagnosis. So at the very least, you can then go on and do what it is that you need to do, whether that's being on the list or trying to, because essentially in the ideal world, the thing with the atresia is the reason why you get the Kai situation you had is that because the bile doesn't have anywhere to go, you end up getting the ducts end up getting scarred and inflamed and damaged. So in theory, the earlier that you basically intervene, the better, because then the scarring and the inflammation hasn't happened. So there's still a way to sort of open the tracks that you can allow the bile to go and release and cause problems. But obviously by the time I think yours said yours was 6 weeks. So possibly by that time, there'd have been a lot of scarring and inflammation and stuff like that happened. So that actually trying to reverse the damage will be quite difficult. So that's why the point I'm trying to make is that's why early diagnosis is actually important for something like biliary atresia, because it means that like if you intervene sooner, the scarring of the ducts won't be as bad, and so you won't have the long-term complications that you normally have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that just a matter of? Is that just a matter
of like quickly answer this question? The reason they knew is because they took a blood test at 4 weeks. It would have been at 4 weeks that I would have had the blood test result, and they would have seen with your sort of your AST, your bilirubin. Bilirubin mostly the key one because that's the bile building up and going into your system. And I've always counted bilirubin at a high level. When I first had it when I was a kid in 2006, right, is though it causes encephalopathy, it makes you forgetful. I remember every single day of that. That was good. And as a kid, no kid deserves to go through that. Not even your worst enemies deserve to go through liver failure. it's horrible. It's a horrible way to go, and if you don't get what you need, and like it's like a gremlin in your mind thinking, just don't eat, don't drink, just sleep, curl up, go away, basically piss off. Like it's like a gremlin telling you to just curl up and give up, and you're there trying to fight that whilst you're fighting everything else at the same time. And I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I was just on feed sleeping all day because the bedroom was that bad. But yeah, they would usually do a blood test where you would get these levels, and then you would say, yeah, we need you to go to a scan, right? Like an ultrasound or phlebotomy, or even if you're older and you're starting to see more problems afterwards, you would then see a CT or an MRI or something like that. But yeah, Bargo, you were going to ask.
Oh yeah. So I guess like you answered the question. I guess it's all like liver markers. But I guess another question is this one seems like more structural, right? Like with the bile
Yes,
ducts, with biliary atresia. What
Yes,
what other kinds of things can happen at that age? Because there's a lot of like enzymes, right? From like biology, like there's a lot of enzymes.
So we usually divide liver disease into what we call prehepatic, hepatic, and post-hepatic, depending on at what part of the process it affects the liver. So usually when we talk about prehepatic, it's just before. So, but an example for a prehepatic condition would be like really a lot of like genetic blood conditions. So stuff like maybe like sickle cell, thalassemia, stuff like that. Because if you know anything about those diseases, the liver filter. So go on.
No. Yeah, like so there's a lot of like diseases that are like just based on foundations that you learn about. So that's what I meant.
Yeah. So in summary, basically, like it's to freeze. So biliary atresia would come under the post-hepatic. Like I guess the simplest way to, without boring people, is just think of it as like you've got like a pipe, and the liver's like your processing sort of plant. So pre-hepatic,
call it like the factory of your liver.
Exactly. So think of pre-hepatic disease as things that affect the process coming into the plant, and then hepatic is about what's going on in the plant, and then post-hepatic causes are what's going on after the plant. So when it comes to biliary atresia, it's a post-hepatic cause because you're trying to get stuff out of the plant, but you can't get stuff out of the plant. So it's backing up into the plant and causing damage that way. You know, so that's kind of but there are obviously things other diseases that occur in the plant, before the plant, and after the plant. So that's kind of
that's very well put back. Actually, I never actually thought about it like that. So thank you.
No worries. It's the only way I can remember.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is that and that's the thing as well. If you go to these websites like Children's Liver Disease Foundation, especially, it's so easy to read. I mean, it's just literally, you never thought you could find a liver condition, and it'd be so easy to read. Like the cause of biliary atresia is unknown, research's been carried out, blah 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 blah, something like that. And look, they're just instant. How is biliary atresia diagnosed? Blood test, urine test, ultrasound, liver excretion test, which is basically like a liver biopsy in a sense, where they just take a piece. A biopsy is where they just basically look at like the kidney or something like that, and they just take a little bit of a piece of it and then look at what's going on sort of around and inside that. So blood how can be treated, like showing a strong indication. They may require surgery like the Kasai operation, like that it helps. The aim of the procedure is to drain bile from the gut, liver into the gut. So basically trying to help the liver to try and do its job. But and sometimes it may work, and then like it will then start picking it up and doing it itself, but many a times it won't. So it's that one's really like a 50-50, but I've always counted it, is it working? Because if it's working, right, I'm still here. Right? This is where people say, well, yeah, you've had 5 liver failures, but in the end, they've all worked because I'm still here. In the end, I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm still raising awareness. I'm still doing this. I'm still doing that. So, Yeah, it's a bummer that I've had to go through more of it, but in the end, it's got me to where I am now. So, but yeah, I think what we could do now is sort of go look at the sort of mental side of it. Is because, like I said, with liver failure and that sort of gremlin in your mind and stuff like that, and
Guys, sorry,
when
I have to head off, unfortunately. So, but before I go, does anyone have any specific questions? Do you want me to address or say? Sort of, is there anything?
I have one last question, actually, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Are the steroids much better now? The steroids and immune suppressants, are they a lot better now than years ago?
You
Because
just talk in general, you mean,
yeah, in
or
general, like, are they a lot better in terms of like transplants and dealing with the
I would say they're more,
dealing with the
there's more range of them.
Mm.
The main one they use now, I'm allergic to, so there's other alternatives. But yeah, there's a lot more range to them now than there was, and there are a lot more effective ways of giving the immune suppression you need. So, say like for me at the minute, I've got an immune suppression drug, and I'm using high dose steroids to help combat that as well. So, I don't know about Red Devil. Do you want anything to that?
Yeah, no, it's you're right. I mean, there's a much broader range of things. I think obviously we're more aware of the side effects of different things as well. So with a lot of these things, like you can never get rid of all side effects and stuff. So being good communication to inform people about like this is the reality of being on these medications and these drugs. And so when you know there's what the side effects, you know how to treat them, how to manage them, etc. And so patients are more aware of what they're getting into and how to manage the symptoms. I also think that there's a lot more access to, and there should be anyone access to, liver specialists, nurses, and what have you that can basically just help patients with their journey and access to what they need. And fundamentally, the internet, so the internet resource and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, when people are better informed, and this is why obviously it's good that you're doing, when people are better informed about a particular thing, the knowledge and power will ultimately lead to better outcomes than being completely.
Because like I said, we used to be part of like you knew as much as they knew back in the day. And that's before the world of the internet stuff like that. But
exactly.
Now these days they try and say because they know so much about it now, they try and sort of not share too much. Right. But when you've been there and done it, like when they go back to a children's world, I think the adult side, they're trying to sort of adjust because now we've got these new patients that are, because we only started, when I started my journey, it was about 5 or 6 years they started doing childhood liver disease. Now they're starting to get more patients that are to do with, from the child side, from basically what we called upstairs at King's, right? When they come down to the adult ward is like, they don't know how to deal with it. For example, when my mum had donated a part of her liver to me as a liver-related transplant, she asked, as knowing, like, wanting to ask me about my liver condition, she'd ask, what are my blood test results? And they go, well, why do you need to know? When, because it's my life. And it's like them trying to sort of adjust to the fact that you want to know and you want to be updated what you're doing. For me, I need to know what everything's going on. Because I say, if you don't tell me what's going on, I can't do anything. I can't do a scan. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I don't know if it's right for me. Right? You need to give me the info I need to say, yeah, okay, I'll go with that. I'll go with this. I'll go with that. That's why me and my surgeon are like that because he'll tell me everything. He won't hide it. So it's them now sort of, if I go towards a doctor who's just going to start his journey and to be a liver doctor and stuff like that coming out of university and stuff, the first thing I always tell them, you can tell they're students because they're with the registrar or the consultant and they're like, whoa, where the hell am I? And when they do get it, it's like I tell them straight away, listen, just listen. Because if you sit down and just go, I've got this on your records, but what's been going on? I'll talk for England about what's going on, right? And then because from me, unless I'm unconscious, in that way you need to know the records, right? You then don't know what's going on, so you can make the right decisions. So yeah, for me, it's more just letting them sort of the doctor side of it just sort of get the idea that now these days the kids that have come from the adults, children's side, the adult side, they need to be they need to be part of the team. Like,
I
yeah,
think
so
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, I'll see you guys later. Okay, guys, take care, guys. Have a good show.
thank
Thank
you
you,
for
man.
coming on.
On
Thank you.
again. No worries, man. I'll be on again. Take care, guys. See ya.
Yeah, Talk Man, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are you doing?
Yeah, man, your intro is fucking amazing, mate. It is fucking
You like
amazing.
it?
It
You're
is
getting famous
amazing.
on YouTube.
Oh, do you know what? Like, big up to you because that is brilliant. I just get if we could get the outro done.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. Leave that with me, my
Brilliant.
friend. But that's my gift. That's my gift to you.
Oh,
That's my
thank you.
gift to
You're
you,
no,
my
no, no,
friend.
no, no. You're welcome anytime here. Trust me. Camper Cat. Didn't Tony Adams have a problem? No, he didn't. He just had an alcohol problem. He didn't actually have a problem with his liver. He just had an
Yeah.
alcohol problem. But
Self-inflicted.
no. But the thing is, he thanks to sort of mainly because of Arsene Wenger actually. When you look back at it, it's him that went it's when Wenger came in and cut out the drinking culture that he then sort of realized his demons and redressed his issues. I won't mention his name, but he was a Man U player. He took it to the next. He took it and destroyed it, and then when he got a transplant, he did it again. So I don't mind if the people have issues with alcohol. I'm not gonna start saying they don't, right? But if you're willing to change, like they are willing to give you another chance. If you're not going to show that you're not going to change, or you're trying to blame everyone else apart from yourself, right? Then, right, for me, I just know if you got a transplant, you'll just do it again because you blame everyone else but yourself. Right? I remember some guy saying it's salt rather than alcohol. It's just
What?
and I'm just
Yeah, but we need salt though. We need salt.
What? Yeah, but I was on the opposite side of the room, and I had to. The nurses had literally had to restrain me to the door, so I wanted to punch him. I literally was about 14. I wanted to punch him.
I can imagine Stephen, can't you, bag of like?
I should do
What could he do? He was strapped to his
I would
bed.
be pissed too in that situation, though.
Because he was
I'd
having
be
a go.
very pissed in that situation too.
Because the nurse had a problem with alcohol as well, and actually managed to pull herself out of it. Right, and he was having a go at her. So I was like, "Oh no, man!" I was like, red rage. I was like, "No, man! I want to do you now." And I just,
Charlie has a good question, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry. But yeah, we'll move on to mental health now as well. But do you go to hospitals and talk to young patients suffering from liver disease to let them know what you've been through? Yeah, I do. That's hard because I've had numerous talks with a number of patients. I have a friend who's very close to us, and I got a transplant in that year that she was supposed to get one, and she didn't get it. So she passed away on Good Friday 2017. I spoke to another one who passed away as well. So that's hard when you want to try and share that inspirational story and they don't get. I mean, one person that passed away, he before his transplant, he was like that. You could see him on the bed. He was shitting himself, right, of what was going on. And they asked him, "Could you just talk to him because you've been there, done that, been there, done that. Everyone knows me up and down the ward. I'm causing absolute chaos as usual." Right, so I come there in my wheelchair, and he said, "Who's doing you?" I said, "You are having a transplant," and his mum explained it. I said, "Are you who's doing your transplant?" They said it was my surgeon, and I said, "Not a problem, fine, right, best in the business." Right, so it's hard, and his grandmother gave us a sort of like an sort of Catholic sort of little charm to sort of like bless us when when I was having my problems. I still got that on my little teddy bear. Right, I have two teddy bears that have been through everything through me at the minute. Right, even to this day.
Do
Do
you know what it is as well? Do you know the when you go to see the consultants and stuff and the surgeons, and they're telling you exactly what's going to happen and what they're going to do, and you're kind of lost in that kind of like thought of like, wow, what you're gonna like do all this, you're gonna cut me open and you're gonna rip me out, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and then but it's that moment though when they say to you, look, you know, this is a very risky operation, and the chances of basically the chances of death are you know, like 60-40 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then when you get into that moment, that's it. That's all. You're transfixed on that what they've just said. Everything else, you can. When I was on my conversation, I couldn't hear anything else after that apart from, okay, have you got any questions? And I was just like,
yeah.
I just shook my head and he said,
Well, I tell you what.
Not good.
I remember when they reconstructed my vein, it didn't work, and I knew what had happened if it didn't work. Stephen, I'm backstage. I can't see you backstage. Do you want to try and come back in and come back out? Because I can't see you. I put the link back in the chat, but I can't see you, and I don't know why. But try again.
On Alex's question,
can I just hang on?
Yeah.
I was just going to answer this. Yeah, but when they didn't reconstruct my vein, I knew that I was going to need a transplant. But even then, like when they tell you you're going to need a transplant, right, you feel like, oh fuck. And your 2 days is like, I didn't want anyone to mention it. I just didn't want to talk about it. I just shut myself off. And in the end, it was just me just trying to process what was going on. Once I got that out of the system, I was like, yeah, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get on with it. Because in the end, there's nothing I could do. Right? In the end.
That's it.
So
that's the thing. What you say there is that's on the philosophical side of it. It's like stoic. You have to be stoic in your approach to it, because at the end of the day, you know, there's lots of ways you can philosophize all that stuff, but when you start thinking about things that you have no control over, you have to put your trust in somebody else.
Yeah.
You have to just go with it 100%.
Anyway, I will answer this one question, and then we're going to move on to mental health, because I want to talk about that as well. Am I in pain every day? No. Right, the scar is completely numb. Right, you could cut me there with a knife, and I wouldn't feel it. Right, it'd probably tickle, but I wouldn't feel it. Right, but yeah, it doesn't. I just, because I've got no inner core, I might get back pain and stuff, so I had to have some painkillers to help with the back pain, but that's it. That's not actually to do with it.
Has your scar stayed?
Did football help you? No, it fucking didn't. It fucking didn't.
Not supporting Arsenal. Yeah, no. Let me just ask you this, Stephen. Has your scar stayed? Has it stayed pink? Has your scar stayed pink, or have they gone white?
It's got still bits to heal, but it's pink.
Yeah, same with mine. Half of mine's white.
Yeah.
And the other half's pink down towards the bottom, because I don't know what that is, but it's...
Like I said, yeah, I'd say it doesn't, but actually, to be honest, being able to switch off for 2 hours, even to watch Grand Prix, that's why I when people say I call myself a Hampton fanboy, yeah, I do, because I've sat through hospital watching him race and been able to shut off for 2 hours to be to watch watch basically my hero to go and race a car, right, and do what he does on the track, and still have this motto of no matter how many times you fall, you still rise, you still come back up, which is what I was doing. Surely it helped. Surely it does the world of good. And even if Arsenal are absolutely terrible, right, in the end, it does help because you're not actually thinking about what's going on around you. You're more thinking about.
Did you just say?
Fuck's sake, like,
Did you, Stephen? Did you just say if Arsenal are terrible? I think you did. If you said if, what do you mean if?
No, back
There's
then
no
it
ifs
was
about it. They've
back
always
then it
been
was-
terrible. They've
hang on,
always
back-
been terrible.
Hey, now it's just banter.
Hold the phone. Back in 2006, when I was in Everton, we were not shit, right? We were beating
Yeah.
fucking Juventus, and I was taking the piss out of the professor because she supported Juventus, I supported Arsenal. We beat Juventus to get through to the semi-finals, right? So, know what I mean? Yeah, I was giving a
And
stick.
yeah,
It was also the same professor that said to me, said to my mum when I was a baby, because as a baby, if they stuck a can in me, I'd laugh. I'd be giggling, right? And they would be like, "Can you tell your son to stop giggling at us? We're doing horrible things to him, and he's just sitting there giggling like there's nothing wrong." Right? And that's again mentally, I'm just like having a joke. I'm having a laugh, and that's with me, my
but
mental
that's
health.
your. Do you know that
That's
says
my
a lot about your personality? That says a lot about your personality.
But deep inside, though, right, and this I didn't find out until I was 16 when I started getting flashbacks, nightmares, and God knows what, which I still have to this day, right? And to the point that I'm in hot sweats, so my mum has to wake me up at night, right? That, yeah, it's just a cover underneath, right? I'm taking, like, people have asked doctors, is he taking this seriously? Yeah, he bloody well is. Well, what do you want him to do? Go in there absolutely miserable as sin? No.
Exactly.
Try and be positive because that's the best way to get out of it, right? And get better when you are like that. But it's inside, I'm shitting myself, right? And I'm like, fucking hell, seriously, not again, not again. And I'm tearing up inside because I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it. So, supporting Arsenal to destroying my mental health. Well, it could be worse, mate. It could be this, or it could be watching Arsenal. So I take Arsenal, to be honest, but on the same, football does help me forget what I'm going for. Yeah, that's the thing. If anyone wants to come on, by the way, you can do. If you've got any problems in your mental health, it is the perfect thing to talk about. Right? You need to talk. Like, best thing to do, I say, is talk. Right? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to give you the best information in the world, but the best thing you can do is talk. Don't bottle it up inside.
That's
All
I think when you move on now, when you move on to mental health, I think we need to maybe talk about it from an angle of why does this happen? Why do we sort of start to feel like we do, especially during this time we're in now? Because I think asking them kind of questions makes it a bit easier to have a workaround when you start to get a little bit of them feelings. It's easier for you to, and quicker for you to get over that hurdle. Because sometimes if it looks like 100-foot wall and you're only 1 foot high, it can seem impossible. But with a little bit of knowledge and understanding, you can make that wall seem a lot shorter and you can seem a lot taller where you can get over the wall. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when we start talking about that, I think we need to kind of look at that angle. What do you think, Bag?
Yeah, so mental health wise, like, since COVID started, it's been like up and down. But I think, like, like if you had like a month, I think you have like 20, you have about like 15 good days and 15 really so-and-so days, if that makes sense. For me, I think the part that's actually been helpful is doing YouTube, actually, for the community portion of it. Because I think, like, I love people, right? But I'm not going out, I don't want to, I'm not going out and meeting people right now. So that was a bit of a change for me because I'm used to like going out and talking to a lot of
don't
people.
tell me she's doing this.
But
I'm keep trying, mate. But obviously, I don't know what's going wrong, mate. It must be. I don't know whether it's your system or it might be StreamYard being. If it's StreamYard, then I'm gonna literally ask them for a fucking discount, right? Why the fuck should I pay 40 quid for people not to be able to come on? Right? Jesus Christ, right? Yeah, go on, Bargo. Sorry.
But the thing is, like I've said, like when something bad happens to you, you can view it two ways, right? I think the best like saying that I've heard is event plus response equals outcome. So there's a lot of people out there that are really happy in the worst of times, and I think their internal response to it is like very different. They view it as a learning lesson or a positive in that sense, and that's a part of mental health. There is an element to having positivity, but the second part of mental health, I think, is just having outlets to express those things. If that makes sense. So for me, I started writing. And I started doing stuff like that. So talking to people. So it's been easier for me in that sense to handle it. But I mean, anxiety and stuff. Do I still have it? Yeah, I think that's. I think everybody has a little bit of anxiety. I think mental health is it's one of those things. I think some people are better at it than others, right?
Do you know what as well? What you say there, Bark, what you said, sorry to interrupt you, but what you say there is right, because, and also we have to encourage people to understand that it's okay to say to somebody,
Exactly.
I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I don't feel okay. Because
if you wanted to
you know,
share
that-
something, hang on, I just wanted to say, Charlie, if you wanted to share something that you wanted to talk about, by all means, send it in the chat, right? Because I don't know why it's not working, right? And it's pissing me off why it's not working. But yeah, if you do, if there is something you want to talk about, then by all means, put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. We'll have an open discussion. But relegate Newcastle. Nah, man, no. This is not about football. This is something. Leave the football out, man. Making YouTube videos helps me with my anxiety disorder. That's the thing, right? When I realized I wasn't getting myself any better anytime soon, it was about summertime last year in the middle of the pandemic, and I thought. Then they said the football was coming back, so I thought, what else could I do as a sideshow to see if something doesn't go right, to see if I'm not going to be able to do what I wanted to do. And I remember doing my channel initially, which was pre-recorded videos beforehand, and I thought, well, yeah, okay, I'll see if I can build it up, get people to go on channels like The Terrace, AFTV, and all that, get people to come on and subscribe so I can get enough subscribers to then go live and do live streams. And since then, it's been like when I was told on the 11th of December for that meeting that they can't do anything for me anymore. This is the best they can do, which is palliative care, which doesn't mean I'm dying. Right? It just means I'm staying stable because there's nothing else they can do really until maybe science improves or in me it fixes itself. The problems fix itself, or or they find something unique they can do, or the veins grow back that it can do surgery in time. And for me, for like a week, everyone saw me being on the streams, but inside I just wanted to just fuck off. I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to just shut everything down. I just wanted to give in. Right? I just didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk to my mum, to my sister, right? Because when they told me this, it was over a Zoom meeting, and my surgeon couldn't look at me because he was that devastated. He couldn't look, right? Because he's done everything in his power to try and keep me safe and keep me alive. He can't do it, and he's failed in a sense, and he's failed me. He feels like he's failed me, which he can never do. He can never fail me because I'm still here, but I'm literally in my sister's arms, and me and my sister, we fight like cat and dog. But I was in my sister's arms, and I was crying my eyes out because there's nothing they can do. And like I said,
Hey, Stephen, come on, mate. It's cool, honestly. Dude, honestly, Stephen, mate. Listen, we're all here with you, mate. We're all here for you. It's fine to cry, mate. Let it out. Let it out. You know what I mean? Let it out.
Let it out, Stephen.
You don't hold on. Yeah, don't hold on to it, mate. Honestly, don't hold on to it. And you're so. I tell you, I said this to you a while ago about your bravery and your how you're so upbeat and everything else. And I think I still stick with that. And you know,
I didn't want anything else in life. I just want it to be normal. Just want it to be healthy. Even if it meant I did nothing in my life.
but it just listen, Stephen, doesn't take away from the fact that you're an absolutely fantastic human being, does it? It doesn't take away from the fact that you've got a fantastic personality, that you're very likable.
Stephen, look at the community.
You know what I mean? I joke and laugh, and I'm just in a minute, and I'm in the middle, just like I can't do this. I can't.
Stephen, look at everybody you brought together, though. I mean, I think that's you're like an inspiration to so many in this sense, because most people don't do this, man. I'm telling you, most people don't do this. Don't put themselves out there like this. Chris has said it before. Look at Charles. Look at Quick Gooner, who came on today. Look at everybody that you brought together, and that's why. That's why you're such an inspiration, man. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's the best part about these. That's why I said, like, this is one of the few channels I wanted to come on, and I didn't even, there's like a lot of other football channels I don't really want to go on personally because, but this is the one that's I feel like is making a big difference in the whole football YouTube stuff. So since day one, you've always been like this, and keep doing that, man. That's what this week's about.
I agree, Bag. And there's only one channel. There's only one other channel that I go on for football, and it's only because it's a Man United channel that I go on it, and this is the only other one that I go on. So, and like I say, you're just you yourself are a standout human being, and the way you kind of talk about it and the way you explain everything, it's an inspiration, for every. I mean, this, we also have to remember there's probably people watching who may have problems that they don't want to talk about, and maybe sort of keeping it a kind of quiet from people. But with you doing what you're doing, you encourage people to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Now, if you go to that comment, I'll put it this way: like, there's a comment earlier, right, where like there's people that say mental health doesn't exist.
What?
I guarantee you that's false. It does exist. Not everyone's a perfect human being, and not everyone knows how to. Not everyone grows up with the perfect attitude either. And there's things you have to learn mentally to cope to, and there's a lot of awareness that channels like this should bring, if that makes sense.
I sent the wrong link to the chat. I do apologize. There you go. Try that one. You should be able to get on that one. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. I sent the wrong link. I do apologize. My mistake. I mean, even like cat and dog fucking on. You can tell it's definitely up. This is the thing, like people go like that, and it's not like I don't appreciate it. I appreciate every support that comes my way. Trust me, right? But in the end, it's like, what else would you do? What else would you do? You do exactly what I do. So, yeah,
But not everybody can, though. That's what we're saying. It's not.
Yeah,
not everybody
it's
can.
the thing. I've known plenty of people who are just as strong as me, and they're not here.
Well,
I just wish they just. And that's the thing. This is why I do this. That's why I do this. Is because I've lost friends over this. Innocent people have done nothing wrong in their life apart from just have a liver condition. Right. So it's Charlie, how are you, mate? The brand new setup, mate.
Not bad. Obviously going through a little bit of a bad patch, mate. Listen, at the end of the day, onward and upward, mate. Onward and upward.
Yeah, definitely. What do you want to share?
Well, what about what I emailed you about earlier, or what?
Oh, did you? I'm so busy, mate.
No.
I completely.
An email on Twitter.
on Twitter. Sorry, I do
You-
apologize.
Well, you did answer me.
Oh yeah, yeah,
We'll leave that to you.
definitely. Yeah. I should be free on a Monday evening. So, yeah. I'm only like a contingency plan for someone else in case something doesn't go right for them. But he should be okay. But yeah, I could definitely do that.
I'll talk to you more about that tomorrow or something. But
Yeah.
as I put in the chat earlier, listen. If you've got a broken arm or a broken leg, people can see it. People don't know what's going on inside your head, mate. And not just you, thousands and thousands of people at this moment in time with COVID.
Yeah.
So you're not on your own, you know. And everybody, it gets to everyone, mate, man, woman, and child. So you just got to, you know, as a couple of comments have said, you got people around you, mate. I mean, I haven't been on for a few weeks, as you know. I've been sort of mucking out on my own channel, but at the end of the day, mate, you just got to, you know, take a deep breath, get on with what you're doing, and just do what you can. No one expects anything that you're not doing. You know, if you cancel the thing because you don't feel well, tough shit for other people. You know, at the end of the day, everyone's health is most important, and you've been through it more than most. So, you know, you got to think about yourself first, mate.
Absolutely. In the end, if you don't have health, you can't do anything. So you got to.
Listen, it's what you make it, isn't it? I mean, as ill as what you are or what you've been through. Listen, at one time I've been really ill. I used to have hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank. Now I've got fuck all. But you either lay down and die, or you get up and you get on with it. And that's what you've got to do. Whether you like it or not, you know, you've just got to crack on, mate, and think of yourself and your health. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I mean, that it's like I said, it's one of those. You get two choices. You can either just carry on fight, or you just give in and trust me. Right, this last couple of months, where I've just been buried in content. The reason people think I'm doing so much is because, like, I just want to keep busy because I can't accept the fact that that's it. There's nothing else they can do. I can't accept it. I can't accept it.
If you just sit there and think about things and whatever, with nothing to get on with, you're going to end up thinking bad things, you know. But if you think about what you're doing with your channel and Arsenal, you know, whatever, it takes your brain away from sitting there and moping over what you got wrong with you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like I said with early in the stream. I want to get a midline in. I want to do this. I want to make things better. I want to believe that there's something they can do. Right, there's something they can do, and and yeah, I might give it like sometimes like, yeah, I expect them to do this. If they don't, then what's the point of me giving it all that? But yeah,
Listen,
it's just the fun. It's just I just want to genuinely.
You know what?
I just want to accept that there's something else they can do. There's something else they can
Well,
do
there
to
is,
make me better.
Look at where we are now in the world with COVID. Right? This time last year, no one had a cure for it. No one knew what it was. People were dying from it.
This is the thing. This is why I do it for this channel, because this charity, they raise the research. They do the money for the research.
Yeah.
And with COVID at the minute, there's no money going in. There's all the money, which I
No.
don't forget. I completely get. Everyone needs to put all their resources into getting the vaccines and stuff, right? And I totally support that, right? But it's like when you get cancer research, you care to get adverts all the time and stuff. I'm like, I want liver disease to do the same thing. I want this charity to go out there and do this and do that, and you know what I mean?
But what I'm saying to you is,
So if they find an answer, they can
Exactly.
then like they can find the answer, and then they can use me as an example, and like this is what we need to do to stop it. Because it's not fair.
Yeah, well,
it's not fair.
But the only other side of the coin is look at cancer research. They've been doing that for years and years and years.
Yeah,
Been millions and millions and millions, and still not. You know, it is.
it's still an uphill battle. Yeah.
No, but the thing is, you're lucky in as much as the thing you've been through, and Lord knows you've been through it, and you've come out the other side. Okay, you're not 100%, but you know, as you say, you've lost friends to it and whatever. They would love to be where you are now. You know what I mean? They'd love to be sitting here.
Oh, trust me, I still keep in touch with their parents and that. Trust me.
Well, that's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
there's someone who's just as good as my age. Sorry, I'll get to you in a sec. Is that and she had in 7 years she had 3 transplants, right? And I joked with her mum saying, "Oh, she's broke my record, right? I did it in 11, blah blah blah, stuff." And she was just like me at that age, running around, not caring the world, like nothing's wrong with her, just accepting like this is part of normal life and stuff. And by the time she was 14, she had a 4th transplant, and unfortunately, and you could check her story out actually. There's in the playlists of my channel, you can find transplant stories. Her transplant's there, Elena, right? And I still speak to her mum now, and she had a transplant at 14. She got complications, and she passed away at 14 years old. It's just not. It's just not right. It's just not right on any level. Ads, you all right, mate?
Yeah, bro, not bad.
Yeah. What did you want to say anything about like liver, mental health? What we're discussing in a minute.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just, like, to be honest with you, I just like I look at certain people my age, and I see how, kind of lapsed they are in themselves, as in like they haven't reached the level as a person that they should have. In my opinion, that's not bad. It's not bad to do that, and to some people, it can look like a bad. It can look like a bad thing. It can look like a bad thing, but I get told all the time that I've basically expanded over the level of people my age already, and sometimes I'll tell anyone who wants to be like that, it is very very hard. And and obviously, Stephen, I admire you so much because like you have all of this stuff wrong with you, and we've had talks about how you've had to do this by yourself sometimes, man, and you know like your mom, your family, your friends, we're all gonna be here for you, bro. We're all gonna be here for you. So, there's no final step alone, like they say, like that. For me, that saying is just rubbish. I think we all walk alone at a time in your life, but at the end, it's ended like with family and friends. It's never alone. And I just want to say that, I look at everyone here, and this resembles friendship, because we can all talk about something we enjoy, which is why we all stand here today as panelists talking about football, but we can scrap that and talk about what goes on in the real world. And that's not a pretty sight, and it's not a pretty thing to talk about. I know that, it can oppose as, like you feel alone when it comes to this stuff, because I have some things wrong with myself, and I thank to God that I'm thankful to God that I don't even have the severe level of liver disease that you have. I'm really glad that I don't, because I don't know where I'd be. I don't know where I'd be, mate. So I admire you and what you do, and you're an inspiration, bro. So just keep on the grind, innit?
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I mean, yeah, well said,
I mean, it's like I've said, but I can argue with anyone about football. I can have a banter with anyone. It's just right, but in the end, I appreciate anyone like that gives me support, right? Because it's like I said before, and when I was like growing up, it was just like normal life for me, and that's why when people say, "Oh, you're this, you're that, you're this," I just felt like, oh my god, have I done something really that well? It's just I can't. When I do look back, it's like, how the hell did I do that? I don't know. People ask me that, how do you get through that? And I ain't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. I could tell you an answer, but I haven't.
Yeah.
So
You just have
yeah,
to listen. It's a day by day thing, Steve. It's not something you can look forward to. Like, next week I'll be doing this. Next week I'll be doing that. You know, let's just all be thankful. We all wake up in the morning.
Mm.
When you think of, you know, the hundreds of thousands of people that died from COVID, I've lost my mother-in-law for it. You know, I've lost friends. But what I'm saying is, every morning you wake up, be thankful for it, mate.
Yeah. Just a quick question before we go. I got here. Camp Cat, I have a question for Charlie. Was mental health for you differently when you was younger than it is now? Probably, yeah,
Yes.
for me. But
Yeah.
the best place to listen is you, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when I was younger, the word
Trust me,
mental health,
sometimes when I've watched Arsenal, I do sometimes want a pint. Trust me. I will say that, but I won't. I don't do it, but I wish I could.
yeah. I mean, mental health had a stigma against it. You know, if you was classed as a mental person, you know, you had the piss taken out of you and whatever.
Oh, do you know what? I will say this. I will say this. Is my late father, my God rest him. He was a big time gunner. That's the reason I'm a gunner, right? And yeah, he was the perfect example of what happens when you bottle things up. He'd been in the army 3 tours of Ireland. He'd lost his best mate in Ireland. And you saw him every remembrance service around that time. You had to be very careful because it bring back so many memories. And yeah, and he would honest to God, he would be sometimes tears when watching the Saturday service on TV, going to Sunday service and that, because it was his closest mate. It's the reason I'm named Stephen. And yeah, he was a perfect example of what happens when you bottle things up and you don't talk. And he would be like, yeah, talking's, no, you're a man. You need to talk. You don't need to talk about these things. Right. And it was just a perfect example of what happens when you do. So I just looked at that and like, Dad, I love you, but you're wrong. You need to talk. Right. And in the end, when I said to my dad knew that I was having nightmares, right, and by this point he'd split up with my mum, right, and the divorce, and like I go to where he lived, and I said, look, I have nightmares, I have flashbacks, I have to see psychologists, and that. He eventually got more accepting of the fact that you need to talk to people. You need to have that conversation, even if it's to a professional. And that's what I say now. Even people in this stream, you got anything to add, just literally jump on the stream. You don't have to if you want to, right? I love how it's a liver awareness show and he pulls himself a bloody pint. Right?
I was just gonna say
You didn't
that.
think of that, did you? Right? It's a bloody liver awareness show, you idiot. God's sake.
Is it alcohol free, mate?
No, it's Beck's Blue. Don't worry, it's Beck's Blue. It's Beck's
Yeah.
Blue. Just say it's Beck's Blue.
0%
Right?
Heineken.
Yeah,
We'll go with
0% alcohol. Yeah, but yeah, it's just yeah.
No, I guess one thing I'll say is, I guess maybe in the coming weeks, I guess like I never thought about this, but I'll bring on some of my friends who are in the psych field. I'll ask them to come on and just talk about like just what they do.
Well, I'll tell you what. I
with
will
things,
just say, how long is
so-
this event on Friday? I said it's 9 to 5. You should know me. That's by now. 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5.
Do you want me to find somebody?
But
for
yeah,
Friday?
like
Stop singing, that's what we want.
no. What you could find maybe a psychologist at some point for the early morning part, because on the
Yeah.
early morning part, I will send the links to the 2 ladies that I speak to in for the charity. They
that's
will
perfect.
come on Friday and give their say and say what this is all for, what this does, and how supportive and thankful they are for doing this. And yeah, they'll
But
definitely.
last thing I want to
And everyone that does come on a stream, all the guests or anything, you please try and wear something yellow, something yellow, whether it's just even a little, one of those buttons you can put on the shirt, even if it's just something like that, or a yellow ribbon or something. Just something yellow would do. This is why these markers are yellow.
one last thing I want to add. The biggest thing for mental health for anybody, the first step should be talking about it. So
Yeah.
so this is like should be a safe space. This is one of
By the way, just to
safe
say, we're not
spaces.
experts. We're just
Yeah.
this is the best way we can. This is the best advice we could give from our experiences.
Okay, sorry, can I interrupt you there? Sorry, mate. One thing I will say about what you just said is that a lot of people don't even realise they've got it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing. I didn't realize. I didn't realize I had it. I just thought, me taking the piss out was just me. And then I started getting nightmares and stuff. That I realized I did have a mental problem. I literally couldn't, and I had so much anger. I had so much anger in myself and the world because why are you punishing me? I've done nothing wrong in my life. Why are you punishing me? Why you keep punishing me with all these illnesses? Why can't you just be like someone else where I just have transplant? I can just go on and be happy and do whatever I want to do. Why are you punishing me? What have I done? What have I done? And that's it. Just all that anger just builds up, and like you then start taking it on your mum, you take it out on your sister. I mean, there's been times where I've taken it on my sister, and my mum, and I've been horrible. I've been horrible because.
Listen, let me tell you something through experience. You always hurt the ones you love.
That's the thing. My mum's me and my mum are like that. She's been so close. She's like I said, Dwight, when I'm in the children's ward, when I go in to stay, my mum would be there because there's a bed where the mum's parent can sleep, one parent can sleep. She'd be there by my bedside every fucking night that I'm there.
Listen,
Right?
Steve,
Every time.
Let me tell you something. You know my Terry, but my Terry's 43 now. My youngest is 40. They're still my children. They're still my kids.
That's the thing. They're still kids. They're still your kids, and they always will be.
You know, I'll die before them, but and if any of the other panel have got children, they'll feel the same. No matter how old they are, they're still your children. So whether you've just
you know what's funny is that my mum always puts this front of like saying, "Come on, get on with it." But I know if I go upstairs and I hear talking to Auntie Henry or something, I've heard her at times when I'm upstairs and she's in tears because she can't do anything.
You know
tried
why?
everything in her power and there's nothing else they can do.
But she doesn't want to show it in front of you.
I know it's there. I know it's there. I can see it, but it's just...
she don't want you to see her struggling.
And there are times where she's been like that, and I've just said, "Mum, just tell me, please, just tell me. Why would you just tell me?" You know, it's
Bargain, sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah, sorry, mate.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Any more questions before we wrap this up? No.
No, you know.
No.
What I would say is, if you get stuck on Friday for half hour, you want someone to come on, you know, talk about whatever. It's up to you, mate. I mean, if you pull up for the day, happy days to you. But if you want someone to come on for 20 minutes, half hour, give me a shout, mate. I'll come on.
Hey, the floor literally, we've got guests coming on like every sort of. We got most of the hours covered with the guests we've got coming on. It's like the morning session we're doing 9 to 11. You could come on then. You could come on, and even then when these guests are coming on, we're trying to get sort of a 10-minute, 15-minute slot where people can ask one question or something. It depends how many people are there, but also we are also trying to at the end trying to do like an hour and a half where we can just have a rival banter session so people can just banter each other, and then if there's more people that want to come on and banter, we then switch it round, and then like people can then banter in your chat while new people can banter as well.
Well,
so
I've actually actually got a show on Friday night on my channel where I'm talking to someone from America that's a medium and they've been attacked 3 times by ghosts. So that should be quite interesting.
Great.
I'm hoping they don't attack me.
Don't get spooked. Don't get spooked before you go on stream then.
Charlie, who's that behind you, mate?
Oh man.
I'm looking at the screen thinking, shut up.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh god. It's a good way to end the show right there. Good way to end the show.
What we got then? Yeah. Tomorrow we've got what we got planned for tomorrow. Bargav, you need to talk to me about tomorrow actually.
Yeah.
Quickly, not take days, but yeah, we've got the Arteta in or out debate at 6, which would be fun. Great. Right. This is Bargav's idea, by the way. This is before the Crystal Palace game at 7:45 p.m. We'll go live for the Crystal Palace Man United game. Talk Manu, do you want to join in for that?
Yeah, of course. That's going to be
Wicked.
Good game, I should imagine.
Wicked. We'll get in. Yeah, we'll get. Should be good for that. I like to keep an eye on Palace because my mum's fiance is a Palace fan. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, we've got that. We've got Thursday where we've got. Well, when I get back from the hospital, I've got Fulham, Tottenham Hotspur. Hopefully, Nuri will feel a bit better and can join on that. And then Friday. And by the way, guys, don't worry. Even if I got monetized, I am not changing one bit. This is staying genuine. Trust me. We're keeping it exactly as it is. We're just right. The only thing that'll change is that the money that you donate will go straight to charity. That's all that changes. Everything stays the same. All right. Friday we have got. What's that?
Put some links in.
Yeah.
I'll chuck it on Twitter.
There's a lot of strings of stuff. Yeah, I'll just share links to everyone that wants to come on on Twitter and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Friday obviously is 5th of March. You should have this in your diaries by now. But 5th of March, big yellow Friday, right? Hashtag Talk Money. I don't even know why you've not put one on yours yet, Mike.
Oh crap! I did. I had it on, but it was when you messed with my name and put Turney something or
You should have checked it before you come in the studio. That's not me. How do I do it before you enter the studio? How am I supposed to do it?
Shocking.
What was he saying earlier?
But I'm
What was he
sorry.
saying earlier? It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Yeah, I mean, like seriously, right?
It's a nonsense. I wouldn't let him on the coach. I'd be throwing punches. At David De Gea.
But yeah, absolute nonsense. I can't be standing with you. Seriously, you're such a letdown. Friday, we've got the all-day event, and there you go. Oh, you like Bargav? You put a hashtag and you put spaces in it. Like hashtag big yellow flag. How hard is it? Seriously,
There's no spaces.
I don't have a hashtag on my. I have to draw it in myself with a pencil.
It's like trying to teach my dog how to cook.
There's no spaces.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He still put a fucking spaces in between them.
Oh, did I? Oh, hold on.
At what point do you have
It was Talk Man. I thought you said mine.
you have a hashtag with spaces in it,
there.
and you put Friday the 5th of March next to Friday.
And I've
Nice.
got the eye out.
Not me this time.
Fuck! Hang on.
Man, I'm useless.
Leave it there. Leave it there. I'm not generally. No, generally, I will sort it. I will sort it.
Don't forget to put
I'm gonna sort it. Trust me. I'm gonna sort it. I'm gonna sort it. I'm gonna sort it. Watch this.
Yeah, I know what he's gonna put now. He's gonna. You're an idiot. You should have said I'm an idiot then. Not you. You are.
What?
I am.
What do you on
No,
F1?
you are an idiot. I'm just saying. I'm saying it to you. You are an idiot.
I know. I've naffed
Hang
up
on.
big time.
I will sort it. It's. Do you have it all in capitals, Paul?
I don't worry about it. It's fine. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. So talk
All right,
you. Right. R dot I dot S dot D dot no space hashtag.
Sorry.
big.
Who do you? Are you an Arsenal fan then, Charlie?
Yeah.
Born and bred, mate. Born and bred.
So is
What's your
Terry.
background?
Terry, who does Claude and the Bansters.
It's what? Sorry.
He does Claude. His son Terry Davis does Claude and the Bansters. One of the channels that will be plugging the link in their chat to donate money to the charity. So big up to them. Big up to them. And Gunnar Claude's going to be coming on as well. Hopefully we can get Terry and Diesel on at the same time. But we live.
Are you Arteta in or out then, Charlie?
I'm actually an Arteta in, mate. Yeah. You know,
See, look, how hard's that?
Yeah. Thank you.
I wouldn't say trust the process, but I would say, you know, he's turning us around slowly.
Well, that's the question I
Are
have
you
for
a fan
anybody who
of-
says Arteta in. Sorry, Mike.
process. Hey, Steven, another stream. Let's do that another. Let's talk about that another stream.
Let's
Let's end that like right now.
I just
We'll
saying
go
this,
on and on.
right? 11 defeats in a season. All right.
Well,
and
listen, we're not the only ones, mate. Not the only ones.
yeah, the last. Oh God. I was doing an F1 gaming broadcast and I just like quick going and started giving it all this about Arteta and I just went on a rant because he said TalkSport said they're the third best manager in the league. No, some idiot called TalkSport said he's the third best manager in the league. Not it wasn't TalkSport that said it, right? Because TalkSport went, "Are you mad?" Right? He's not the third best. Like, Charlie, you can say he's not the third best manager in the league.
No, Stephen, I've never said that.
Thank you.
I've never said that. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
All I have
I'm
said
just
is that-
even some fans are saying he's got links to Barcelona. It just shows how good he is. It's because they're broke.
No,
They're broke.
no. Listen, at the end of the day, look,
If they want to take
Menu,
you,
I don't
means
know
I'll
your first
take them to the
name. What's your
airport.
first name? Menu?
Yeah, go on.
James.
James, you think about 2 or 3 months ago where you was to where we was. You know, you'd never believe you'd be where you are now, would you?
Well, I mean, I know what you're saying about I've always been critical of the tactics of the coaching at Man United, and you know, it's as fans. Obviously, we have our say and everything else, but at the end of the day, we can't really affect anything unless everybody is of the same mindset. Yeah, exactly.
But that's never going to happen.
That's the only way. No, that's the thing,
no,
and
that's
they know that. That's the owners know that. So, but as a fan, I was critical from the moment I heard. I remember the moment I heard that Fergie was leaving. I was washing the pots at our old house at the sink. Right, I had it there with my marigolds on. Right, with one of those aprons that you put around your thing with boobs on it and all that jazz, thinking it was clever.
Too much information.
Right, so I'm stood there doing the pots, and it comes on. It's Talk Sports on, blah blah blah, talking about whatever they were talking about, and the next thing, oh, what's this? Oh, Sir Alex Ferguson is, and I'm like, and I remember like putting my hands on the sink and just standing there, gawping out the window, thinking, "You are kidding me? That's it. That is it. We're done. That's it. It's over. It's fucking over because there's no way."
Well, it had to
and then,
over sometime.
yeah, but the biggest shock after that, was when I heard David Moyes was taking over.
David Moyes,
Hang on.
he was always going to take over from Ferguson. Always.
Yeah, Ferguson.
Well,
It was Ferguson's idea.
But don't forget,
everyone blames the Glazers. Hang on, it was Fergie that recommended him.
Well, yeah. But the only reason Fergie recommended him was because Who did Fergie talk to before that? Do you think?
The
Well,
days
I
of
always
Edward Woodward and something
Mourinho
like-
as well.
But anyway,
What's that, sorry, Charlie?
I always said it was set up for Mourinho anyway.
Well, actually, no. It was actually he actually offered the job. He offered the job to Pep Guardiola for when he
Well,
leaves.
yeah. But
But-
anyway,
but Pep-
but
But Pep
we
didn't
could-
want to take it. And we know
We
why.
can sort that
quickly.
out on another stream, guys. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
We can sort
Yeah,
that
yeah.
out on another stream. Trust me. Because I'd like to know. But there you go. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Thanks for everyone that's tuned in. Thanks for everyone who's come on. It's been a good stream. Good stream. And yeah, no doubt we'll touch base again about mental health at some point. But yeah, until then, everyone hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye bye.
Check your Twitter bag.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.